Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and in this one we of course are talking about the Fantastic Four. I have been highly anticipating this movie, not only because I found out that this was directed by Matthew Shackman. The visuals are epic and this movie was really hyped up because it's already been approved for a sequel. So let me go ahead and tell you why I gave this movie 5 out of 5 stars and why I think that you should watch it as soon as possible. So I'd really like to draw attention to Matthew Shackman's creative direction. So if you haven't seen WandaVision, please take note that this is very much giving some inspiration from the Jetsons. Not only do they have a robot, it's placed in a 1960s futuristic Earth, and they're very much technologically advanced compared to our 1960s. I mean, they're basically the new Guardians of the Galaxy. I'll get to that later in this video, but it also draws some inspiration from The Incredibles and also The Underminer. So it's a really cool movie, guys, and definitely unlike any other Marvel movie we've seen, Matthew Shackman made sure to put it on a different Earth in a different time in dimension so that we can really get a new and fresh storyline. You definitely don't have to see any of the Marvel movies to see this movie and understand what's going on. This is definitely laying the new foundation for the new Avengers. Of course, I'm going to get the massive, biggest spoilers out of the way. So if you don't want to hear these spoilers, please skip this part. I'll make this red, so just hover over this and just keep going. Spoilers in 3, 2. So there will be 2 trailers at the end. The first one gives insight to Doomsday, and it basically tells us that the Fantastic Four will be returning because Doom wants their son, and you'll see that in this movie, Galactus wants their son as well. He wants their son for his powers. Somehow it would free him from the curse of being Galactus. And the second trailer is basically just a comic of the Fantastic Four, and this is just reiterating the fact that the producer, Matthew Shackman, really wanted that comic feel, the original comic feel, which is really cool and dynamic. So Invisible Woman dies at the end, and it's because she's using her powers to push Galactus into a black hole in space away from his ship so that he would be forever stranded. But her son, Franklin, reses her. So, I'm sorry, I play video games too much, but he basically revives her. And that gives some insight to his powers. In this movie, we won't know exactly what it is that he does, but like he's obviously very strong because of that. My third point is that Galactus is like Godzilla's size. And I don't know if Matthew Shackman did this on purpose. I mean, this is his very first like movie, like massive movie. Before this, the only award-winning show or anything project that he's ever had was WandaVision. So I don't know if there's some correlation there because he did work on the Godzilla project on Apple TV. But he did say in a quote that Galactus would beat Godzilla because he's not just a meat brain or something to that effect. So very funny, but yeah, Galactus isn't that big as he is in the comics. So not very comic accurate, though he looks exactly like Galactus. As far as like the scale size, he's not the same size. So that makes him beatable for the Fantastic Four themselves. And this is him actually walking through the Times Square. They are placed in 1960s Times Square as well. All right, and lastly, there are not that many fight scenes. Like, when I say fight scenes, I mean like the fight scenes that you know, like an Iron Man versus a Doom, or like just up close fight scenes, because they are fighting in reference a giant, a devourer of worlds. So they're not going to be able to really punch him in the face. The only one that does punch him in the face is Thing, and that is in fact when he says clobbering time. So he does say clobbering time in the movie.
What time is it, Ben?
No.
What time is it, Ben?
No, Johnny.
Say it!
I don't wanna!
Say it!
And the Thing.
Hey, what time is it? Say the thing.
That's not really something I say.
It's clobbering time!
That's just in the cartoon.
Now, to my last and very last point, they are basically the new Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, I don't know if they're throwing shade at the new Superman producer, who was previously the producer for Guardians of the Galaxy. And you're probably like, who is she talking about? I'm talking about James Gunn. He is currently the CEO of Creative Direction for DC, and he previously worked for Marvel, and he actually directed all of the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. Now, if you see Superman, it's definitely giving Guardians Guardians of the Galaxy-esque because there are some funny moments. The colors are very bright. But that being said, I don't know if they're throwing a little bit of shade because the Fantastic Four are definitely well far off advanced in exploring space. Now, the only ones who were that advanced was the Guardians of the Galaxy. And now that their future is uncertain, I think that this is really a strategic move as well, because it's like, who else is going to navigate the galaxy as well as Guardians of the Galaxy? Well, the 1960s Fantastic Four from Earth 828. Now, let's get into the actual plot of the story. Why does Galactus want this planet and who helps him? Now, it's not really just Galactus, it is the Silver Surfer.
Never late for Sunday dinner.
Let's eat.
Hey, what time is it?
It's dinner time. Get inside.
I herald his beginning. I herald your end. I herald Galactus.
What is that?
She, who used to be Shala Bal, Johnny actually found out her name in the movie. She actually picks the planets for him. Why she chose Earth, we don't really get to figure that out, but she did choose Earth 828. Now, I thought there would have been like a specific reason, like maybe when they went into space the first time, they sent a signal, but no, she really just chooses random planets. And little did she know she chose the right one. Now, let's talk about the plot. So there are a couple main events that happen that we need to know about, and I narrowed them down to 6. So this is exactly what happens. Here are all of the scenes. So at first, we are introduced to a ABC news station, and they basically introduce the Fantastic Four to us. Number 2, the Silver Surfer comes in because, you know, the Fantastic Four, they're just doing their daily duties, just saving New York City and all of that good stuff. And the Silver Surfer just comes one random night when Invisible Woman is around like 9 months, because she actually has her baby shortly after this. So she comes and she's basically just saying like, hey, your world is ending, so take peace in it and hold your loved ones. We're coming for your planet next. And then the Fantastic Four, they decide to go to space and negotiate. And Galactus actually can see through Invisible Woman's stomach, and he can actually see the future of her son, and her son is just embedded with grave power. So that is why also Doom will eventually want her son as well. So number 4, they prepare, because basically they tried to get away, because then Galactus was like, well, I won't eat your planet if you give me your son. And they're basically like, no. And they induce her labor right there in space. The Silver Surfer actually reaches her hand through Invisible Woman's stomach, because, you know, she can shape shift through objects. So that was actually a really cool scene to see. So Franklin is out of her stomach by the time they touch back down on Earth. And boy, does the public have questions. They tell the public that, and the public actually gets mad at them for it. So then Invisible Woman gives everybody a pep talk, and she's like, we're going to prepare. So boom, they make a plan to teleport the Earth, because they're still technologically advanced. So they're going to teleport the Earth into a space in space that Galactus cannot find. They do just that in seconds until they are teleported. The Silver Surfer comes in and breaks all the teleportation machines except for one in New York City, and that's going to matter later in the movie. Johnny has been studying her language, and he actually finds out that she's a servant to Galactus, and she's done this to multiple planets. She had volunteered to be Galactus's herald because she wanted to save her own. So Johnny's like, you're a hypocrite. So then she runs off and she does some soul searching, and then they decide to bring Galactus to Earth because that teleportation machine is still in New York City, and they're going to teleport him into space away from his ship so that he will be forever stranded. They do just that because the Silver Surfer comes and she pushes him through that portal, because not only does Invisible Woman kill herself by pushing him a little too much because it required great strength, the female Silver Surfer came in to sort of save the day and gave him that extra little push for him to be gone. forever. Now you might ask, where were all of the people? They were basically rescued by Mole Man, who is basically just like the Underminer from The Incredibles. But I mean, this guy played by Paul Walter Hauser, he definitely embodied that role and just took it to a completely new level. And I really wish that he had more scenes because he was just great on the TV screen. And I hope that they cast him in future movies. But he basically helps all of the people find some safe space underground because in that universe, Mole Man is pretty much successful enough to the point where they've created an entire city underground. So they actually evacuated to the depths of his territory. So very cool and very clever. But yeah, guys, the only downside I have about this movie is that I was not able to collect all of the collectibles that were advertised. I got my little cup and I went with my nephew. We had a blast. So stay tuned. And I'm just going to leave you with this little post on Facebook I saw. I just love the fact that superhero movies are back to being colorful again. So it's a really fun, exciting time, guys. If you haven't seen any of these movies, please go see them now. I can't stress that enough. But yeah, guys, I'm super excited to see what they will do in Avengers Doomsday. Please comment your thoughts below about your review on this movie, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye, guys.